All right, good day, everybody. My name is Randy Stanbury. I'm the president and owner of Service Freight Systems and Warehousing. We do road transportation throughout North America and also 3PL warehousing services. You may be asking yourself, well, why would we be doing a video of this nature for the transportation world? And frankly, it's not about trucking and transportation, but about bringing added value to our client base, our prospective clients, and our carriers. I've been on a journey of lifelong learner and personal growth and business growth over many years. I've had the privilege of meeting many of my mentors. One, Mr. Peter Diamandis, who is with us today. What I wanted to do was bring immense value to our client base through the wisdom, the knowledge, the expertise, the awesomeness of the people that I've met that are experts in their field, and bring this value to you through this video series. Mr. Peter Diamandis is the best-selling author of his latest book, Abundance, along with being the chairman and CEO of the Xprize, which we'll talk about a little bit further, and of course Singularity University. He is a co-founder of that as well. Peter,
Randy,
welcome.
A pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to do this with us.
Sure.
Peter, tell us a little bit about Xprize, how it was started, how you were inspired, what inspired you to launch such an incredibly bold project.
Thank you. Well, we each have a dream. We each have sort of the big, bold ambitions, and some of us we keep it secret. Some of us talk about it out loud. Some of us make it our lives. And my dream since my childhood was always spaceflight. And awesome. I grew up, sort of inspired by Apollo and Star Trek. And what's that kid from the Bronx gonna, become an astronaut and all that? And I went and got a 6-pack of degrees from a bunch of universities, all with the goal of going to space. And then realized after a period of time that my chances of becoming a NASA astronaut were like really 1 in 1,000. The number of people who applied and your chances of getting in, and I wasn't a fighter pilot and all that stuff. And I read one day about Lindbergh that he crossed the Atlantic in 1927 to actually win a prize. And I started studying these kinds of incentive prizes where you have an ambitious goal, like in this case, first person to fly New York to Paris, which was an impossible feat. And you put up a prize and you say, hey, here's $25,000 for the first person to do this. And that $25,000 offered in 1919 drove 9 different teams to spend $400,000 to try and make that trip. And Lindbergh was the most unlikely guy to do it. But yet, because you only pay the winner, this $25,000 prize was won by Lindbergh when he made his flight from Roosevelt Field in New York to Le Bourget in France, and changed the world. And that inspired me. I said, wow, can I create a prize that would inspire a new generation of private spaceship manufacturers? Right? Because Boeing and Lockheed and all the aerospace players weren't making these. And I ended up coming up with the idea of creating a $10 million prize. $10 million was the purse for the first person who could build a spaceship that would take you and me and a pilot up into space, land, and then to prove it was reusable, do that flight again. It's 1996. I'm in St. Louis at the time. I went there because Lindbergh got his money there. I soft-circled $500,000. It was getting harder to raise that kind of money, and I said, I'm going to take a big chance. And I went up on stage under the arch in St. Louis and announced this $10 million prize without having the $10 million. And you know the story.
Which I love.
It's
awesome.
I took a big risk, and because doing anything bold in the world is risky. It's difficult. At some point, if it was easy, it would have been done already, and if it's safe, you're not probably the guy who's going to end up doing it. So I put up a $10 million prize. Conceptually, I had on stage with me 20 astronauts. I had the head of NASA, head of FAA standing there with me. They liked the vision of this. I wasn't lying about it. If anybody asked me, I'd say I didn't have the $10 million, but no one asked me, and so I had front page news around the world. Long story short, we ended up having 26 teams around the world from 7 countries enter this competition. It took me 5.5 years ultimately to find the person who's going to put up the money. All the likely guys, from Fred Smith, the head of FedEx, to Richard Branson, to 150 CEOs and CMOs I ventured to and asked, said no. They all were scared about the risk of people killing themselves. They were scared about, can anyone do this? Would it be a black eye on our brand? Finally, a family, the Ansari family, serial entrepreneurs themselves, had just built their last billion-dollar company, put up the $10 million. And it was won in 2004 by a fellow Burt Rutan in Mojave Desert, who built a private spaceship, beautiful spaceship called Spaceship One. It's now hanging in the Air and Space Museum right above the Apollo 11 capsule and next to the Spirit of St. Louis airplane that inspired it in the first place. It was a crazy story, and I guarantee you, I had people telling me it was impossible all the way till the end.
Amazing that you're able to pull that off, and then the boldness to go out and really put your balls on the line to make that happen is so inspiring to me.
Thank you, Randy.
And so today, the Xprize, well, first of all, the flight happened.
The flight happened. It kicked off a brand new industry. Richard Branson came in and bought the rights to the winning technology. And now there's, hundreds, thousands of people who put deposits down. And we've launched a private spaceflight industry, a new, $1 billion industry out of that competition. And at the end of that, I said, wow, these prizes really work. And was able to recruit support to build the Xprize Foundation, the organization I run. And if people are interested, xprize.org is the website. We brought in an amazing group of trustees. I was able to get the CEO of Google, Larry Page, who's become a friend and a backer, James Cameron, the producer, Elon Musk, a number of great entrepreneurs to really join and help us create a vision of where we're going.
And Virgin Galactic is really what's come out.
Yeah, Richard Branson's company for flying people into space. Now for $200,000 you can buy a ticket to go into space.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Frankly, from your vision, from your just determination to make that happen.
Thank you, Randy.
Through those years.
Thank you.
So where is Xprize today, and what is on the horizon? What are you working on currently?
Well, we're launching prizes in a wide range of areas, and we launch Xprizes, which are ambitious, objective goals to say the first person to accomplish this thing will win. And we design them. We look and see where there are market failures, where the future could be but isn't yet, and we launch them in education and global development, in life sciences, in energy, in exploration. We've got a $30 million private race to the moon. We have 25 teams around the world building robots to land on the surface of the moon. We've just launched something called the Qualcomm Tricorder Xprize, build a handheld mobile device that a mom could use at 2 a.m. in the morning to diagnose her or her kids. Really it's about transforming the future of healthcare. Getting ready to launch a global literacy Xprize. There are 880 million illiterate people on the planet. How do we create the technology that would allow kids to rapidly learn to read and write anywhere on the planet, in a fashion that doesn't require us to build schools and teach teachers? Can we use technology to really create a wave of literacy around the planet? So these are some of the areas that we're working in Xprize.
Amazing. Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
So some of this, quite frankly, to the everyday entrepreneur, to the executive, to the businessman, is a fairly massive and daunting project. The whole concept of this video series is to add value to our client base, our prospects, our carriers. And so how do we...
Which is really about what it's all about, right? It's all about knowledge. The right piece of knowledge that you get at the right time can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the right person.
Absolutely.
And having a knowledge about what's coming down the pike and allowing you to make that right decision. The way you think about something matters so much. If you're a CEO and you've got a positive attitude towards the future and you make the right investments, you're great. If you think the future is going to hell in a handbasket and you don't, you're sunk. The single most important thing that a CEO can do is ultimately educate themselves.
Yeah, it's putting ourselves in the right place, the right space, being involved with as much outside activity as we can to gain as much knowledge as we can. And I think getting ourselves connected to the right people is absolutely key.
Yeah.
So how do we bring in the competitive aspect using competition in our own business to drive breakthroughs?
So, I talk about this, and you and I spent a few days together talking about this kind of thinking. And companies can use competitions inside. It can be among their customers, among their employees, among their community. So you have to decide, first of all, what is your goal, right? What is the area you want? Do you want, to make your fleets more efficient if you're in the trucking business? Do you want to understand your customers' buying behavior if you're sort of in a distribution business? What's your goal that you want? If you're clear about what you're measuring, and you can set an objective goal, you can basically say, listen, the first person to achieve this goal wins. And I, talk about in my book Abundance, I talk about something called the 5-5-5 strategy, which is, imagine you might have 100 employees or 500 employees, and you say, listen, form into groups of 5 employees, and you get 5 weeks and $500 to try a bunch of experiments. And we're going to be measuring the employee that has the biggest impact, the team that has the biggest impact on a particular goal. If you know what you're measuring and what the goal you want impacted, and you allow enough teams to self-generate, and the teams are small enough where there's no management bureaucracy, the teams are able to form in diverse groups. Real breakthroughs come when you have diverse groups of people coming together. Absolutely. And it's not just all of your logistics people or all of your engineers or all of your salespeople. You mix up the teams so that they're across groups, across discipline, across ages, across genders. Because innovation is really where you mix up the thinking and come up with something new. A lot of times companies sort of depend on their internal experts to do anything, and that's fine, except whether it's you or me or some group of experts, we only know how to think the way we think. Mm. And a real innovative way is a non-traditional thinking process. It comes out of right field. And so you need to have a new group of people looking at the problem in a new way to really have an innovation.
Agreed. Absolutely. If anybody wants to contact me directly, I'll give you my information at the end, but we use Peter's concept of competitive or a competition to drive some innovation in our organization, and frankly it was one of the best things that I've done in years. It transformed our organization, it's brought us to new levels, and we have new focus, and it's brought the team together, frankly. That team gel is amazing too. We've got lots covered in a short period of time. Can you touch on linear and exponential thinking in our businesses?
Sure. So, humans, by our nature, we're linear thinkers. We evolved in a world that is very linear in nature. If I said to you, hey, where are you going to be if you take 10 steps or 20 steps or 30 steps, you could probably very clearly, sort of say, I'll be over there and over there and over there. And we have a sense of linear thinking. Yeah. But if I said to you, where are you going to be in 30 exponential steps, and exponential is a simple doubling, 1 becomes 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So where are you going to be in 30 doublings? Very few people would say, oh, I'm going to be 1 billion meters away, 1 billion paces away, which is 26 times around the planet. That kind of disconnect between 30 steps and 1 billion steps is craziness, right? And
it's hard to imagine.
And it's hard to imagine, and we don't think that way, but computers do. Computer speeds are doubling. And so what's gone on is there's a set of technologies, and we study this at Singularity University. You've come to one of our programs recently. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we study all the technologies that are growing exponentially, the most powerful technologies in the world that are doubling in power performance every year. And they're all based on the growth of computers, computational speeds, Moore's law, the fact that the computer you buy today is twice as fast for the same amount of invested dollars as it was 12 or 24 months ago. And the example I use in linear versus exponential thinking is a cornerstone American company, Kodak.
Yep.
So, in 1996, Kodak was a 100-year-old, mainstay company in the United States, known around the world, throughout the U.S., $28 billion market cap, 140,000 employees. That was 1996. Today it's bankrupt. And as you know, the technology that bankrupted them was a digital camera. And what really is crazy is that they invented the digital camera. They had the patents, but they didn't know what business they were in. They thought they were in the chemicals business. They thought they were in the beautiful photograph, high-resolution imagery business. And this digital camera, when it came along, was perceived to them to be a toy. It was perceived to be, it makes crummy photographs. But they didn't understand exponential growth, because those digital cameras became much better, doubled in resolution every year and got better and better and better to the point where it put them out of business. And then in 2012, the same year that Kodak went bankrupt, another company called Instagram, also in the digital imagery business, and if you guys don't know this, your kids do, but Instagram was bought by Facebook for $1 billion with 13 employees. And I think about, it's staggering. I think about the difference between Kodak being a linear thinking company and Instagram being an exponential one. And if people are not cognizant, if they don't understand the power of this exponential thinking, they can be the next Kodak. And they don't want to be that. They want to be partnering with the Instagrams. They want to be figuring out, how can I use that technology to help me leapfrog the competition, to help me really stay ahead and use tech to be on an exponential curve versus a linear one.
And frankly, we, all of us, better be on the exponential path, because today that's only happening that much faster. You're going to see so many more of the Kodaks of the world going out of business, and let's not be one of those. Singularity. Singularity University, touch on that a little bit. Why, how that organization got started. Who are some of the founders?
Happily.
And where you at?
So what I realized is that there are very few places in the world that you can go, as you have as a CEO, and really learn about exponential technologies. We talked about how important they are. And if I'll rattle off sort of the range of them, they're all based on the fact that computers are getting faster and faster at a very predictable rate.
And lower cost.
And lower cost. So on top of this computational curve, we have a whole set of technologies. Ubiquitous networks, right? GPS, cell phone, Wi-Fi, all these networks getting more available everywhere, all the time, cheaply. And then the sensors that are getting on, there are sensors everywhere, whether they're cameras in our environment, whether they're sensors in our phones. We're getting the ability to understand and sense everything in our environment. And then artificial intelligence. Google is an artificial intelligence, right? The ability to be able to know and provide information about any question that you have. And artificial intelligence is also known as AI, is becoming basically the backbone of the internet. There will be, and we talked about what IBM did with the Watson supercomputer winning the game of Jeopardy. The ability for computers to understand what we're saying, ask a question, and answer it. Siri on the iPhone is an example of that, but it'll get 100 times better, 1,000 times better. Exponentially. Robotics. The whole robotic realm is exploding. Google's autonomous car is a robotic future industry, and it's a combination of AI and robots. But robots will enter our workforce. It'll be the technology that stocks our shelves, that distributes our information. I mean, it's going to transform the labor force throughout the world. Digital manufacturing, 3D printing, the democratization of printing, where instead of manufacturing all in one place, printing eventually is going to be distributed in locations around the world. I mean, 3D printing, where you can manufacture something locally at your shop, at your home, wherever you might need it. Synthetic biology, digital biology, the notion that biology is a programming language, that I'm going to design a life form that's going to manufacture a particular protein or fuel for me. We're entering a very bold future in which whatever we can imagine, we can create. And so, really thinking about understanding a sense of where these technologies can go and re-envisioning what business you're in. So you're not in the chemistry business, you're in the imagery business, and digital cameras are a better solution. That's the way you need to be thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the executive program? That's what I wanted to ask you about was, I think having attended Singularity, amazing campus right in California and Nassau grounds, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where the executive program is at today, maybe how viewers, if they want to look into the executive program,
sure.
and what it might be.
We run a program 6 times a year for executives. It's limited to 80 executives per program, and we're, as you said, in the heart of Silicon Valley at the NASA facility, NASA Ames, next to Google. Our founding partners are amazing companies: Google, Autodesk, Nokia, Cisco, Genentech, NASA, and we teach executives in a 7-day program about where these technologies are today and where they're going to be in the next 2, 5, and 10 years. And it's very simple. It's the website is singularityu.org, singularityu for university.org, and you can sign up for the program there. It's a week long. It is told to me by executives it's the best educational experience of their life.
Yeah, and I think, quite frankly, it will change your life. It will open up your mind. It will bring new concepts, new ideas. If you're an entrepreneur, an executive, or simply want to be a leader in your organization, I think this is something that we all need to be looking into soon.
Yeah. Other things people can do, I write a blog twice a week, and I talk about these exponential technologies and these exponential organizational tools. And it's the blog for my next book called Bold, How to Make Your Dreams Come True and Solve the World's Grand Challenges. It's an audacious title. But some of the technologies that are out there that I'm learning about, why not exactly? Learning about gamification and data mining competitions and crowdsourcing and crowdfunding. Extraordinarily powerful technologies that all of us can use. And I'm interviewing the top CEOs who either create this kind of technology or use this kind of technology. And it's really a blog focused on how is it useful to you. So if people want to sign up for this, it's free. It's just go to my website, Diamandis.com, Diamandis.com, and you can learn about, literally how some simple tools that are available for free are worth millions of dollars to CEOs out there. And I'm very proud of the kind of knowledge I'm bringing out to folks.
Yeah, and you should be.
Thank you.
Amazing. Your book, Abundance.
Yeah.
We should touch on that. My assumption is, Abundance was created through the, many things that you've done and accomplished, but I imagine the Xprize kicked that off. And tell us a little bit about Abundance in your book. And frankly, if you want copies of Abundance, again, at the end, my contact information will be available. Send me an email, request his book, and just title it Abundance, and I'll make sure you get a copy out with your, make sure you send your address too, please.
It's very kind of you to offer my book out as your gift to your viewers here. It was number 1 on Amazon, number 2 the New York Times list. I'm very proud. It was at the top of Bill Gates' personal reading list last year.
Awesome.
Which was really cool.
Really cool.
The book is really a look at how the world is changing. How most people have this negative view of the future, and it is completely opposite of what I had been seeing. And I wrote this book to help change people's view and to give them the facts. People have this negative view of the future, and I realize that we have that because most of us are being bombarded by negative media 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the negative media that the news feeds us is there for a reason. They want to grab your attention. And we, as humans, have evolved to pay 10 times more attention to negative stories than positive stories.
It's sad, isn't it?
It's sad. And so, the old saying, if it bleeds, it leads, is what drives the media to always lead with negative stories because it's an attention grabber. But the fact of the matter is, over the last 100 years, the world has gotten amazingly better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our lifespans have more than doubled. The income of every nation on the planet, no matter where it is, Africa, Asia, has more than tripled adjusted for inflation. The cost of food has come down 13-fold. Energy is reduced 20-fold. Transportation 100-fold. Communications 1,000-fold. And what made that possible really is the increase of technology.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Abundance, I tell the story of Xprize. I talk about Singularity University. I talk about these exponential tools that we spoke about in a little bit, and where these are going. What is the future of education, of healthcare, of food, of transportation, of all of these realms that are being affected by these technologies, and how it's really creating a world where at the end of the day, we're going to be able to meet the basic needs of every man, woman, and child in the next 20 or 30 years. A crazy idea that our minds don't really allow us to grasp because we're linear thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, as a small example, a Maasai warrior on a cell phone today, and by the way, there's 1 billion handsets by the end of 2015 in Africa alone. A Maasai warrior on a handset has got better mobile communications than President Reagan did, just 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And if they're on a smartphone, on Google, they have access to more knowledge and information than President Clinton did 15 years ago. Who would have ever imagined that?
Yeah,
and that's happening over and over and over in all kinds of industries throughout the world. So I'll end on this note, which is the notion that in 2010, there were 2 billion people connected on the internet around the world. By 2020, just 7 years or so from now, there will be 5 billion people connected on the internet. 3 billion people are coming online. 3 billion people who never bought anything, have never contributed or added. What do these people want, right? They are going to become, if they're not your customer, they're your customer's customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And they're going to be buying tens of trillions of dollars. So there's money flowing into the economy, which is going to uplift the global economy. What are these people going to solve? What are they going to come up with? 3 billion youth thinkers saying, I can solve that problem that way. And that's really amazing innovation. So for me, I'm more excited about the future of humanity than I've ever been.
Awesome. And your book certainly tells that story.
Thank you. Thank you, my
friend.
friend.
Great book. Guys, Peter, I want to thank you. Thank you for your time today. Quite honestly, this could just go on for hours with Peter's knowledge, what he's accomplished. To do it in this short period of time really doesn't give a justification to the viewers. If you want more, please contact me directly. I'll make sure we get more information to you. My email is Randy S. That's RANDY S as in Sam at servicefreight.com. I'll leave my cell phone number with you too. I do encourage any contact that you would like. My cell phone is 905-339-7212. I really am inspired by what you have to say. I have changed my thinking over the last number of months since we met and since we got to chat, and me obviously get to Singularity University kind of changed my world. I do want to bring this knowledge to whoever hasn't been involved with it yet. Again, please contact me. We can chat about how Service Freight as an organization brought in competition into our group, what we did with that, how it worked, and where we're going today as a result of that. What I would like to also encourage, as I talk to Peter, and I think, there's so many great minds out there, and we really need to come together. I would love to create an elite group of people that are watching this video. If you'd like to join a high-level mastermind group, please contact me about that as well. Again, my email is randys@servicefreight.com. Touch base on me with the email if you'd like his book, Abundance. It's fabulous. It's a great read. It's my gift to you. But a mastermind group is something that I would love to put together, whether we met once a month, a quarter. we can, I think together we can create new worlds, we can create new growth, and frankly I'm here to help anyone and everybody take their life and business to the next level, and I welcome that. Until we connect or we become available through the next video, I wish you nothing but great success, happiness, and fulfillment. Thank you.
Randy,
Thank you, Peter.
Real pleasure. You're a great CEO and a great entrepreneur.
Thank you.